Hey guys, what's going on? Nick is here once again, and today I want to talk about people who will try to slow you down on your quest to success, so to speak. And if you're wondering why there's this weird blue wall background behind me, stick around till the end of the video and I'll tell you why. I will actually show you why. So, along the way, I'm pretty sure everybody will encounter this because I have multiple times. When I was getting into Amazon FBA, even my best friend, who I mentioned in my story video, who I ran the home care business with, even he kind of doubted it. When I gave him a call and I said, "Hey Ryan, you know how we made some money from this business? So I took about 12,000 Canadian and invested into a bunch of product. I'm going to sell them on Amazon FBA now." He's like, "Oh man, are you sure that's a really good idea?" And that was the best case. So I think everything else kind of varied from like what is this exactly? What are you doing? To yeah, man, like good luck. You're like totally gonna do this. Those kind of like I don't know, not really a supportive kind of comment, but more of like underhanded kind of compliment, just like, yeah, you for sure got it. He's an idiot, like, kind of thing. And you see these glances, and it's like you tell your friends even, and your friends are trying to be supportive, but like if I put myself into their shoes, I can see why they would be so doubtful because I tend to be very chaotic. I tend to be very unstructured. So when I invest a bunch of money into this, new unknown venture, and then they ask me, "What's your plan?" and I kind of try to formulate like a general plan, and it's in my head. I just can't really quite express it because of all the details that I haven't figured out yet. It looks pretty bad. And then you have your like my dad is old school Belarus, born and raised father, so he was pretty harsh on it. Like I don't even try to bring things up with him because with my when I started the window cleaning company, he was very, what happened if you van break? What happened if employee, fire? So, when you're starting off, basically, is what I'm trying to say is you're going to run into quite a few people, and I'm not just talking about, random guys and gals that actually want to see you fail. I'm talking about people that actually care about you, and they want what's best for you. And it's not that they don't think you can make it. It's just they're trying to look out for your best outcome, right? And sometimes they don't see the vision. Really, when you're starting off, nobody's going to see the vision. The two best examples I can give for this are, Amazon FBA and this YouTube channel. Actually, I just wanted to make videos just for the sake of making videos and teaching people, and hopefully somebody will watch it. And a month and a half or 2 months later, there's 1,000 of you that subscribe to my channel just to hear what I say, and it's amazing to me. Like I don't even understand how that's possible. Thank you, but you're starting off, and like, how do you handle that? How do you get around like your mom or your dad or your brother, your sister, your best friend, your social circle, just telling you like, hey man, like, are you sure this is a good idea? Kind of like doubting you, putting doubt in your head because those like smallest little voices can become the biggest ones that are responsible for you not executing, not taking action on this. And I think the best remedy for that is to just don't talk about it. Those who matter don't mind, and those who mind don't matter. As long as you know where you're going, as long as you understand what it is that you want to get done, what you want accomplished, that's all that really matters. And surround yourself okay, so I'm going to talk about this from my perspective. And my whole goal was to almost like achieve this level of digital nomad, right? You hear a lot where I go to Thailand, Chiang Mai, I work beside, my best buddies, Noam and Ryan, and we just grind every day. And like, that's my dream, right? But you don't get there. I hear a lot of these stories where it's like, I sold all my stuff and I quit my job and I moved there and now I'm going to start something. That's not how that works. I'm sorry to say, but you have to pay the ticket, to get on the ride. And my payment was to, persevere through the negative comments, right? Through my own self-doubt and seeking out the people that are actually doing this, FBA thing with me and making those connections and learning and staying up, 8 to 10 hours a day, just learning about this stuff and reading it and calling people and just connecting myself with others and then taking a risk with pretty much everything I had, which for me, I'm very high risk tolerant. So it wasn't like such a huge deal, but it was still a big deal because if it failed, if my first product that I bought with pretty much all my money failed, this would have set me back, 1 or 2 more years. I'd have to remake the money, research the product, kind of redo it again. But, I got lucky and I applied the system and everything turned out great. So pay no attention to them because if you do your due diligence, like the process is there. That's all you gotta know. It's just like E equals MC squared. The science is there. You just gotta follow it and do your due diligence, and then have enough, belief in yourself to just execute it. And then eventually, I think, or at least in my experience, eventually, those people who kind of doubted you, they'll once in a while they'll see you, they'll ask you like, "Oh, how's it going, man? What's going on?" It's not that they're not trying to be mean. They're not trying to drag you down. They're just looking out for your best, intentions for your well-being. But it's also kind of like a crabs in a bucket theorem, right? Where if you see one of your friends kind of trying to make waves in your social circle and trying to climb higher, trying to achieve something better, that kind of makes you feel shitty about yourself. It's like, man, why am I not doing this? So there's two ways that you can react to one of your friends trying to kind of climb out of the bucket, quote unquote, and that is you either try to join them in the climb or you try to drag them down because you don't want to do the work, you don't want to feel shitty about yourself seeing them succeed, so you're just going to pull them down. So it's a biologically rooted, kind of self-defense, ego defense mechanism. So pay no attention to that. Just try to be understanding and, see it from their perspective. So it's just best to, once you start seeing these signs of people telling you, man, you're not going to make it, but what if this, but what if that, just don't, jump on it and just like, fuck you, man. Just let it slide. Just maybe you're right. That's true. And then just kind of let it slide because once you start seeing those levels of success that me and a bunch of other guys talking about, the conversation is going to change. I promise you. It's like, how's it going? Oh, like my first second months, I made like 10 grand a month now, and I'm rewarding. Now I'm launching my second product, and then maybe you can like, wow, this actually works, and I know you, and you did this. Okay, so maybe like there'll be either some curiosity or just kind of all the voices kind of die down after that because you've proven you've paid for your apprenticeship, right? You've paid for the struggle and you came out on top. So, if you're noticing a lot of negativity around you, in terms of starting this business, perhaps you're just in the wrong circle. So maybe it's time for you to change up your social circle. And on the flip side, this is something else that I think a lot of people miss on. On the flip side, listen to those who are close, maybe your best friend or your parents when they say, Johnny or Nick, you're not really cut out for it. Like, are you sure you know what you're doing? Like, go back to my best friend Ryan, right? We're both entrepreneurs. We're both kind of hustling side by side and building each other up since grade 7. But when I told him like, hey man, I'm getting into this Amazon thing and I spent all this money. Okay, what's your plan? Well, I have this like general outlook, but I don't really know the details. I mean, if we flip the tables and he told me that without a specific plan at hand, I'd be pretty nervous. I'd be like, man, Ryan, are you sure you know what you're doing? Like, buddy, maybe slow down a little bit, maybe think about this. But is just acknowledging, whether your friends and your family are just trying to maybe look out for the best for you, and they're trying to give you genuine advice based on your behaviors that they've observed over the years of knowing you, or the very very thin line between that and maybe they don't really want you to take these crazy risks and kind of get out of the social circle. Maybe they want to keep you in their social circle, or it could just be underhanded kind of bitch compliments where they're just like, hey man, yeah, for sure, you do that, good luck with that, and maybe legitimately they don't mean well for you. But in either one of those cases, you're gonna see some real colors of some people. So, prepare yourself for that because trying to become this, digital nomad, trying to make money online, trying to travel the world and make money while traveling and build a business online, you're gonna go through some real transitions. And even if you succeed, not even if, when you succeed, along the way, you're gonna pay the price with hard work, with sleepless nights, with a lot of research, with a lot of risk taking. You will most likely lose some people that are close to you, or you'll become distant from them. All this will happen, and all this is part of the payment. So this is your hero's journey. It's up to you to decide how you want to take it. And do you want to stay at home like Bilbo Baggins in the first 10 minutes of the Hobbit? The Hobbit, I believe, was the first one. Or are you going to come off on the adventure with the rest of us? Think about it. Hey guys, so as promised, the little surprise. Basically, long story short, is while this whole Amazon thing was happening, while the window cleaning company was being run for the second year, and I was finishing school, graduating from university, and kind of getting all my things in order after last year's Southeast Asia trip, this is the room that I was actually staying in, and I want you to take a look at it all. Basically,
It's a tiny, that's by the way a single bed. It's just a tiny little thing with a radiator, just a couple of hangers. I recently moved out a lot of stuff, but this is it. This is as good as it got. And these are the kind of sacrifices that you kind of have to pay for. So remember, an entrepreneur is somebody who is willing to do something for a couple of years that other won't in order to achieve a life that others will never achieve. Good luck.